Have you ever had the experience that you have delegated something to somebody and you assumed it was getting done, but then only to discover that it wasn't? I had this experience this week, and I learned a powerful lesson, and I remembered something that was super important about how we as leaders delegate and manage others. Hi, I'm Vicki Suter. Welcome back to the Profit Builder Unscripted, and let's jump in. This week I had this great breakdown that happened with my team, and I just wanted to share it with you because I think that this happens for all of us sometimes in our businesses. So the situation was that I have two people on my team, Dortha and Janine. And Janine is somebody who's new to my team, that when she started, I asked her to do this project that she was taking over from somebody else. And when we met yesterday, she started talking about what she discovered in her research and what she found were the stats of what was working and not working about what we were doing. And then I started to ask some questions. And as I was asking questions, what occurred to me was, there's these things that this other junior person underneath Dortha should have been doing that clearly they had not been doing. And I was like, how often does that happen in our businesses, that we give somebody something to do and we think it's being done, but it's not being done? And it just got me thinking about, one of the things that I talk about when it comes to our ability to be effective leaders is that we don't just abdicate to other people, that we delegate, but we also get feedback that lets us know if that work is getting done, that we have that engagement coming back to us as we're, as leaders, attempting to get out of the middle of the mix of all the decisions or get out of the middle of the mix of micromanaging. Our ability to do that means we still need to know that things are done, but not have to be the one in the middle of it, like, asking all these questions or having to check on people, right? And one of the things I always say is that you're getting feedback from that person that they are self-evaluating if they got it done. Well, first of all, that the criteria of what they need to get done is really clear and agreed on. And second of all, that what they are getting done is that they are verifying, right? They have a system, and that they're sending that feedback to you. So as an example, this was something that was a series of posts that we do on LinkedIn. And my understanding and agreement was that it's what I found out yesterday is, those have not been getting done. And I have been trying to be a good leader manager and not micromanage it and go check to make sure that they were all done. But what it brought up for me is I don't directly manage that person. Dortha does. And I was thinking about it after our call yesterday, and I thought, have I had that conversation with Dortha, that as somebody who manages somebody else, does she have a system for reporting and knowing if that got done? And is that part of her feedback that comes to me? Do I get some kind of a report? Does she get some kind of a report? And we're working out the details of should that reporting structure look like. It was a great conversation that way yesterday. It brought up a great breakdown. But I also realized that it created this beautiful opportunity for me to have a conversation with Dortha about what does it mean to lead people? And when you have people on your team, without having to micromanage them, how do you know that it got done? Well, you have to have some format of feedback that's coming to you. And so we're in the process of working that out. But I wanted to share it with you because, this is part of what happens when we start to shift to, I want to get out of the middle of the mix of micromanaging or, checking on people all the time, to I want to be able to know that when I have agreed with somebody that they're going to take on a certain part of the business or certain aspect of their job or a certain result, that I still need to know that it got done without having to run after them, chase after them, to ask all these questions to find out. And so the thing I invite you to look at for you is, does your team have feedback? Do your managers have feedback to let them know if it's getting done or if it's not getting done? And it doesn't have to be some, long dissertation of a report. It doesn't have to be that, it can be simply a checklist, right? That a checklist went through that, that gets reviewed in the meetings that happen regularly with that person of, I can see that they did all those. In my case, it would have been they did all those posts to LinkedIn as they should have. The other thing that was interesting in this conversation yesterday is I realized that the tools that we were using were very outdated, which just added a layer of complexity to that ability to be able to report back. So, it's kind of interesting when we reveal these things. That breakdown just created this beautiful opportunity for us, for me to have a coaching conversation about what does it mean to lead people and manage by results, and then B, for us to look at our systems and go, does the system work? Because that was the other thing that showed up was we've been using this antiquated system for since 2018. And I'm like, wow, a lot in technology has changed since then. We could have been doing a better job, but we weren't asking that question. So, once in a while, it's just, first of all, it's always a good idea as leaders and managers that we have information coming to us to let us know that things are getting done. It cuts way down on the anxiety level. And then B, to occasionally look up and go, hey, is what we're doing, is the system that we're using, is it the most efficient way, an efficient system that we can use? So that's kind of my learning for the week that I wanted to share with you. I do want to share one other thing with you about something that I've been playing with for the last 2 weeks, which is, well, it's actually been 2 months, but this whole thing around creating systems and procedures and processes. I'm kind of a systems nerd by nature, and I've created lots of tools and templates and resources over the years that have really helped contractors a lot in terms of managing their contracting business. And by the way, if you're interested in any of those, if you get my book, The Profit Bleed, How Managing Margin Can Save Your Contracting Business, included in there are links to all types of free tools and resources and spreadsheets and checklists that can really help you in implementing processes and procedures in every area of your contracting business. But the other cool thing that I have discovered is I've started putting in requests into ChatGPT, where I'll give it a bunch of information about the company, the size, the specialty, what their specific issue is, what they're looking for. And I've come up with some really great solutions for job handoff process or, daily field reports and some other really great things. And sometimes you kind of have to tweak it a little bit, but I encourage you too, if you're looking to implement, improve the systems and processes that you have in your business, make sure to check out ChatGPT. It can be a great resource. All right. That's it for me for today. Thank you for being part of the community. If you're interested in the book, there's a link below to the book. You can order it on Amazon called The Profit Bleed, How Managing Margin Can Save Your Contracting Business. Lots of free tools and resources included as links within the book itself. And we'll see you next time on the Profit Builder Unscripted.